not to you. Venom, Bud, Archie too. They will all be here for you on Comics TV. Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy. What's it gonna be now? Alternative and mainstream too. Here every week for you on Comics TV. Comics TV.
Welcome to Comics TV, your weekly guide to the wacky world of comic books. I'm Mike Rizzo!
And I'm Steve Przybyla. Each and every week we bring you the comic book news, reviews, interviews, and a whole bunch of cool stuff. Today we have some great reviews, an interview with Carla Perez of the Power Rangers, and a preview of Comics TV website.
So let's kick off today's show with Steve's very first comic book review.
For my first book this week, Punisher number 15, Total Extinction, part 4 of 5, from Marvel Comics, sells for $1.50. Writer is John Ostrander, art is Tom Lyle, and inker is Robert Jones. When Simon Trask and a group called Humanity's Last Stand kidnap a priest called Conover, it's up to Punisher and his allies, Kimberly and Dentai, to save the priest or possibly save the world, which this group is trying to take over. The writing was good but very confusing. If you didn't buy the first 3 parts, don't even bother starting on part 4 or 5 because you ain't gonna understand the story. The art was excellent, as in most of the Marvel Punisher books. I really liked the artwork. It was very clean, very distinctive. The rating on this one this week, I give this one a hot, only because I like the Punisher. But if you don't like the Punisher, don't buy it.
Now, for some comics news you shouldn't lose. That was kind of stupid, but a story from the November 25th edition of the Chicago Tribune titled Internet Videos Zap Superman's Strength talked about the death of comics. We could very well be seeing the death of comics, said Gary Calabuono, founder of the now defunct Moondogs chain of stores. 2 years ago, there were 21 stores in 5 states. Now there's none. He claims the industry has lost a generation of prime comic book readers in the last 5 years.
The article goes on to discuss the loss of revenue the past 3 years, which is the same time frame Comics TV has been on the air. Do you think there's any correlation? Riding a boom in the early 1990s, the article continues, comics branched out into licensing agreements to promote spin-off items. In doing so, industry officials lost sight of their original mission to entertain kids with compelling stories.
And if you check out Mike's commentary on the Comics TV website, I'll tell you what I think about this whole matter. So welcome back. My first book today is Depew with an X, Book 2 from American Cinematographics and Antarctic Press. It's $3.95 in full color. It's a strange vampire tale with live action photos and a different coloring style than a typical comic. I don't know if they're trying to be cool or something, but the book falls short. The story itself isn't bad, but I lost track of how many spelling errors there was. After a while, it makes the story less intriguing and looking for spelling errors more fun. They're trying to sell $17 t-shirts, and one of them is tempting, but otherwise the book does not pass the stringent Comics TV taste test. Depew number 2 is a knot. A knot. I've got a knot in my stomach from this book, but it's a knot.
Don't you want to be a doctor? I know.
And has treated me right. Hey, listen to your father. Responsibility, very secure. You're gonna have to have loopholes to handle it.
Somebody's got to care. I think.
He just never listens. You don't know what you want. How could you know what you want?
Be true to your own goals. A message from the Church of Scientology.
I was Steve's den mother for 3 years. He was one of my more active scouts, diving over furniture, running. He didn't pick up anything he didn't try and throw. But still, he was a leader. I always knew Steve was going to amount to something as soon as he learned to sit still.
Welcome back. My next review this week is Star Trek Voyager #2 by Paramount Comics, which is Marvel Comics also. $1.99. Writer is Laurie S. Sutton, art is Jesus Ronaldo, and the inker is John Kalisz. When the crew of the Voyager have to beam down onto an ionically charged planet to save a group of Talaxians, they are held captive by an ion monster which will not let them leave. Can they get off the planet, or will they end up staying there for life? This book was very, very boring. Put me to sleep. It was not worth reading. Most of the Voyager books are pretty good. This one was terrible. The art was basic. Nothing exceptional in this book at all. Nothing jumped out at you. Basic colors, $1.99. I wouldn't bother picking this one up. I give this one a not hot. It really stinks. It's terrible. Don't pick this one up. And that's my second review this week.
Ooh, now we have some interesting Bone news for you. First off, starting with product shipping in March 1997, Bone will no longer be part of Image Comics. Bone #28 will be solicited by Cartoon Books. The Bone Encore series will continue with Image Comics until they finish shipping in June 1997 with the reprinting of Bone #20. Look for Bone #28 in the Cartoon Books section and Bone #17 in the Image section. Also, running through February 2nd, 1997 is the Bone exhibit at the Words and Pictures Museum in Northampton, Massachusetts. Looks pretty neat.
Sure that ain't Maine?
Yes, it's Massachusetts.
I thought it was Texas.
What are you waiting for?
Oh. Marvel Entertainment Group axed close to 1/3 of its staff a week after its 80% owner, Ronald Perelman, unveiled a lowball rescue plan. Marvel laid off 115 staffers and eliminated another 28 positions that had not been currently filled, mostly in the comics business. The layoffs followed a round of cutbacks several months ago. The axe continues to fall.
Don't ask me any questions.
I won't ask you nothing.
Well, welcome back once again. Me and my pal here, Steve. This week we're going to take you on a tour of the COMX-TV website. As I mentioned last week, and I'll mention again, pweb.moran.com/COMXTV/COMXTV.htm. That's our web address. There's no www there. Make sure you check it out. Now let's take a quick view of the website. Let's go to it.
To be the 5th man to walk on the moon.
Houston, we've had a problem.
But 200,000 miles from Earth, an oxygen tank explodes.
Serious power supply malfunction. Okay, now let's everybody keep cool.
Thanks to his survival skills and leadership instinct,
Hang in there, it won't be
he
long.
helped guide the crew back home.
Welcome home. This really looks great.
He was Jim Lovell, and long before he wore this uniform, he wore this one. To love, in spite of all, is the secret of greatness. A message from the Church of Scientology.
It's a good life if you don't weaken. Yes, it's a 164-page novella by Seth. It's $12.95. It's from Drawn and Quarterly. This is a nice-looking book. It's printed on brown paper. I don't know if there's a name for this. Is there a name for this kind of paper?
Brown.
Okay, that's what I thought. It gives it that old look to it, and it's just got the simple one-color, one-tone blue. It's by Seth. It's taken from his Palookaville comic. If you have no desire to read about the 1950s gag cartoon artists, or you prefer smash 'em, bash 'em action comics, or want a full-color comic, then wait for our next review. But if this sounds good, I'd recommend it in a flash. Seth's art is smooth and thoughtful. There are many pictures of just buildings, helping to create that special image. The story is good and different as he lives his life and digs through old New Yorker magazines looking for Kalo, an obscure gag cartoonist. Eventually, he meets relatives of Kalo's and ponders his own life. This is an excellent book, and it's a good life if you don't weaken a very hot.
I'll take a Romeo, cool it off.
Okay.
For my last and final review today, I'm going with The Invincible Iron Man, number 3 from Marvel Comics, $1.95. Writer is Scott Lobdell, artist is Willis Borchio, and inker is Scott Williams.
What are you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? Misconceptions. When Tony Stark, in his Iron Man outfit, is nearly beat to death, he visited an old friend to save his life. And in pops his old friends, the Fantastic Four. And he has to appear as Tony Stark without his exoskeleton of Iron Man. But can he survive without the exoskeleton keeping his heart beating? Good question. You'll have to buy the book and find out. The writing was excellent, well written, very interesting. I haven't picked up a Iron Man comic probably in about 2 years. I really liked it. It was very good. This is the new Invincible Iron Man though, so there's a difference. The art, very excellent. It looks just like an image book, but I'll leave my comments alone on that one. But it was very well drawn, sharp, came to the point. All the pictures were really neat. Fantastic Four. Ben Grimm looks excellent in this book. The rating on this one, I give this one a really hot. Pick this one up. It was a good read. Pick it up. Definite, hot for Christmas this year. Definite.
Excellent.
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 It's Morphin time!
And you know what that means? What does that mean, Steve?
That means we had an interview with Carla Perez from the Power Ranger, who is better known as
Rita Repulsive.
Yes.
And she was scary too. She was very scary for me to interview. So let's go off and morph to Power Ranger heaven. Hi there. We're here with a special guest. This is Carla Perez, and she's from the Power Rangers. If anybody's seen that show, if you haven't seen that show, then you've been hiding for the past few years. Comics. What am I thinking here? I don't know. What am I saying? Anyhow, I'm a little confused today. I should be drinking the Joe Cola. Anyhow, how you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Mike.
Now, you've been in town for a couple days here.
Yeah, I arrived Thursday evening, and actually, I've been here since then, and I'm having a great time.
Have you been to the Niagara Falls?
Oh, yeah. Niagara Falls, I visit twice. I first went during the day, which was interesting, but actually the best time was last night. I went to go see the light show, and they had the Christmas lights up, and it was really great to see the falls lit up by all the colorful lights. That was interesting. I've never seen it before, so it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty neat when there's a lot of ice on it, too. Lights make it look even neater.
Oh, yeah. It's something I've never seen before. Actually, I wasn't disappointed or anything, but of everything I've ever seen, like the footage and stuff, it's like, it looks so much more bigger. It looks really grand. And I thought before that was a full round circle, but it's not. It's like a half of a circle. So it was neat.
Did you stare at the water and get mesmerized and want to run in?
No, I'm cold enough as it is. I believe it is very cold here. In California, you never get this kind of weather.
You're from California, so it's a little warmer out there.
Oh yeah, much more warmer. It's always about 30 degrees warmer up there than it is here.
Okay, so how long have you been doing the Power Rangers?
Well, I started around 2 years ago. It's about almost 2 years.
And how did you get involved?
Well, I auditioned for a movie that Shuki Levy was doing. He's the director of the Power Rangers, and he thought I would be great in one of the shows he does, and I never heard about the Power Rangers. I said, fine. And then I auditioned for him, and he liked me, so that's how I got started.
Now, why do you think it became as popular as it is? Or, well, as it was. I want to keep that two separate right now.
Well, it's a kind of a phenomenon, I guess, because they had no idea it'd be such a hit. And when it did, they just went with it, I guess, and they really don't know why. But for me, I think it has something to do with the fact that it's different. It's like that Japanese kind of style, and it's just like kind of the old Godzilla movies and stuff. It has that kind of feel to it, and kids love that. And a lot of adults too. They love that stuff.
Now, do you think it's as popular right now, as it was a couple of years ago?
Right now, I think the effect is not as big as it was when it first came out, because something new. It was something no one's ever actually seen before, like as opposed to kids. But I'm surprised at how big it is. It still is here, and I guess that would be it.
You ever get kids coming up to you and asking you why you're such a mean character?
No, I don't get that. No, actually, they get too scared to ask me things like that. They're afraid to ask me.
They
wouldn't be offended or anything.
You think they think you're gonna zap them or something like that, probably?
I think so. Like a couple kids here today, they come up to me, ask me one question, they run away, or they'll shoot me with their guns.
Well, you look a little different out of costume. I think that they might make things a little different.
Yeah, I think if I was running around with that headdress on, then yeah.
Now, you said that you were working on, or you just finished a new movie?
Yeah, we just finished the second Power Ranger movie, which is Power Rangers Turbo. I'm not sure if that's what the final title will be, because they sometimes change it. But it's going to be something similar, which is going to deal with a lot of car racing. And yeah, we finished that about 2 weeks ago. It should come out maybe April, sometime in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the first movie was popular. We have it, and it's good. It's a fun movie to watch. It's a decent movie on a whole. Is this one in the same vein?
Yeah. Actually, the storyline's a lot different than the first one, but there's a lot of action still. And this was kind of interesting because most of the characters that were the Power Rangers, they're all coming back in this one. So it's going to be a little different, and it should be a fun movie. And I'm sure the kids will go crazy over it as well.
That's great. So who's your favorite Ranger?
My favorite Ranger? Wow, that's tough. I don't know. I like the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. I also like the new Pink Ranger. She's nice. But they have their own personalities. They're all cool. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite episode that you like working on, or a storyline, something like that?
Episode? Oh, I liked my wedding when I got married to Zed, my hubby. That was fun, especially because I got to work with all the monsters. All the monsters were there, and we all worked together. So that was cool.
Yeah, that must have been neat. Do you know approximately how many episodes you have done?
Approximately, I would say about, that's a hard question, I would think it's somewhere around the 20s to 30s. Maybe, yeah, close to 30.
How long does it normally take to film one episode?
One episode takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Is that like 12-hour days or something like that?
It could go. Sometimes it depends on the day, the weather. Sometimes it could go from 1 hour to 12 hours, sometimes overtime to 14 hours. It really depends on the crew. Everything it's very technical. If something goes wrong backstage, then we have to delay it. If everything goes smoothly, an hour.
So now, is the show filmed out in California?
Yeah, it's filmed down in California. We're filming on the Magic Movie Stages in Valencia, and that's about 20 minutes from LA. And yeah, right next to Magic Mountain. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Magic Mountain, but it's similar to Disneyland. Yeah.
Did you do previous television work before this, or?
Yeah. I've done a few commercials, and I've also done another show that I was doing a little bit before Power Rangers. It was called VR Troopers. It was canceled though, but same company, Saban, and I played the Zector girl as Android. And you would probably recognize me more on that as I am now, because I don't look very different.
Now, didn't that come out after Power Rangers started? Original Power Rangers?
Yeah, original Power, but it ended like right away. Maybe we did two seasons. Yeah.
Okay. You don't see an end in sight for Power Rangers at this time?
Well, I do see, but as what I know right now, I think there might be a few more seasons left, but I don't think too many more.
What do you plan on doing after that?
After that, I have plans for my career. I plan to go into film, and right now that's what I'm working on. And hopefully I could work on something that is not so fantasy, something more down to reality, something more of my own character,
More real people?
Real people, more of a nice guy. I've had enough experience as a villain. I want to try the other side of it all,
Great. And you have one of your comics here that...
Oh yeah, I wanted to show you my comic that I found here. It's great. Look that's me right there. They're pushing me into my little dumpster and getting rid of me, but I do come back. And nice picture of me, huh?
Well, thanks very much for joining us here on COMX TV. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure. I like it.
Great. Hope you enjoy your time here. What's left of it.
Thank you.
And my last book today, well, almost my last book, my last full book, is Love and Rockets number 50, the final issue. It's $4.95. It's from May of 1996, so it's not a brand new book. I just read it though. I have to say the three Hernandez brothers give it a final hurrah as they end this long-standing series. So is the final issue good? I never particularly liked Love and Rockets. We reviewed it a couple times, going back probably all the way to our very first site
season.
Location where we were taping. Bob Richardson is the first story in here. It's a two-parter in here. It's not bad. It's pretty good. The others are okay. They're not great. I wasn't thrilled with them. I prefer the Hernandez brothers' new stuff, more like True Love or Whoa Nelly, that kind of stuff. It's more like the Bob Richardson story. Stories I can read without getting bored. I give Love and Rockets number 50 a hot for this full fold-out cover featuring all the characters from all the years, and also because it is the last issue. Overall, though, I was not thrilled with the book, so I make that coin flip choice between hot and not. And what do I say, Steve? Okay, it's hot because it was the last book of this long-standing series. So beat it, Shark Boy. And one more here. We've got a 30-second mini comic review. I haven't had one of these in quite a while. This one is called Apocalyptic Dreams. It's number 10 from number 10. It's $2. Not bad. It's a sketchy
20.
art style highlights. The lead story, Gunslinger, which was not too bad. Canadians, look for it if you're in Toronto.
30. It's your 30-second mini review.
I was done.
Okay.
Okay, and thanks for watching this week's show. Today's music was provided by 206. It's called White Trash Debutantes. It's raw, but you live for it. You can catch them at 8314 Greenwood Avenue North, Suite 102, Seattle, Washington, 98103. That info will be up on your screen too. Interesting music, interesting songs. We'd like to thank them for their contribution to COMX TV. Remember, you can contact us here at COMX TV with any comments or questions you have at P.O. Box 220, Buffalo, New York 14225, or email us at comixtv@moran.com. Now that's all the time we have this week. Don't forget to tune in next week for more exciting COMX TV. I'm Mike Rizzo!
And I'm Steve Przybyla. Make sure you tune in next week for more great reviews and a review of Codename Scorpio. And as we say each and every week, when you visit that local comic book store, not a comic book store, but a comic book store. Tell them you've seen it on COMX-TV.
My lunch.
Archie too, they will all be here for you on Comics TV. Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy, what's it gonna be now? Alternative and mainstream too, here every week for you on Comics TV. Comics TV.